Deep within the Arctic Circle, in the rugged, windswept landscapes of northern Norway, a remarkable discovery has opened a window into a long-lost world. Here, hidden from sight for millennia, scientists have unearthed a treasure trove of ancient animal bones. These are not just any bones, they are silent storytellers from a time before the last great ice sheets covered the land. They speak of a time when the Arctic was a very different place, a time of surprising warmth, nestled within the vast expanse of the last ice age. This find gives us an extraordinary glimpse into an ecosystem that vanished thousands of years ago, revealing the secrets of the creatures that called this ancient wilderness home. The journey to this discovery was one of patience and exploration. Researchers ventured into the remote coastal regions, exploring a network of caves carved into the mountainside by the relentless forces of nature. Inside one particular cave named Storsteinhola, they found something truly special. Piles of bones lay scattered across the cave floor, preserved in the cold, stable environment. It was immediately clear that this was a site of immense scientific importance. These remains were a snapshot of life, frozen in time, waiting to be understood. The sheer quantity and variety of the bones promised to rewrite our understanding of Arctic survival during one of Earth's most turbulent climatic periods. Imagine standing at the entrance to this cave, feeling the chill air that has kept these secrets safe for so long. The bones belong to a period roughly 75,000 years ago, a warmer interval during the last ice age known as an interstadial. This was a brief respite from the extreme cold, a time when life could flourish in the far north. The animals that lived here were true survivors, adapted to a world of constant change. Finding their remains allows us to ask fascinating questions. What did they eat? How did they cope with the long, dark winters? And which species thrived in this unique ancient environment? The answers lie buried within these precious skeletal fragments. This discovery is more than just a collection of old bones. It is a detailed biological archive. Each bone, each tooth, and each fragment of DNA holds a piece of a much larger puzzle. By studying them, we can reconstruct the food webs and ecological relationships that defined this prehistoric Arctic community. We can learn which animals were predators and which were prey. We can understand how they interacted with their surroundings and with each other. It is a chance to travel back in time, to witness the incredible resilience of life in one of the planet's most challenging and unforgiving habitats, and to see how it responded to a warmer world. The cave itself, Storsteinhola, is a place of profound significance. Located on the island of Valderoya, it is a natural time capsule. The cave's position, high above the current sea level, protected its contents from the destructive power of the glaciers that would later advance and retreat across the region. While the ice sheets scoured the surrounding landscape, erasing much of the evidence of past life, the treasures within this cavern remained untouched. This unique geological circumstance is why the bones are so exceptionally well preserved. The constant cold and dry conditions inside the cave prevented the decay that would have destroyed them in almost any other setting. It is a sanctuary of ancient history. Scientists approached the study of these remains with great care, using a combination of traditional and cutting-edge techniques. First, they examined the physical shape and size of the bones, a process known as morphology. This allowed them to identify the different species present in the cave. They could distinguish the powerful build of a cave bear from the slender frame of an Arctic fox. But the most exciting revelations came from a more modern method, ancient DNA analysis. By extracting tiny fragments of genetic material from the bones, researchers could unlock a wealth of information that was invisible to the naked eye. This is where the story truly came to life. The DNA told a story that the bones alone could not. It allowed scientists to build a family tree for these ancient animals, connecting them to their modern-day relatives. They could identify specific genetic lineages and see how these populations were related to others across Eurasia. This genetic map revealed the movements of animals and the flow of genes across the ancient landscape. It confirmed that this remote corner of Norway was not an isolated outpost, but part of a vibrant, interconnected ecosystem that stretched for thousands of miles. The DNA was like reading a detailed diary, written in a language that we are only now beginning to fully comprehend. Among the creatures identified were some that are familiar to us today, such as the hardy wild reindeer and the cunning Arctic fox. But there were others that have long since vanished from the earth. The remains of the formidable cave bear, a giant of the Ice Age, were found here. So too were the bones of the steppe bison, a powerful grazer that once roamed the cold, dry grasslands of the north. The presence of these animals paints a picture of a rich and diverse fauna. It was a world where massive herbivores shared the landscape with nimble predators, all of them adapted to the unique conditions of this warmer interlude in the Ice Age. The analysis of the ancient DNA provided some truly startling insights. It revealed that some of the animals living in this Arctic refuge possessed unique genetic signatures, different from their counterparts found elsewhere. For example, the cave bears of Storsteinhola belonged to a distinct genetic line. This suggests that they may have been part of an isolated population that had adapted specifically to this coastal Arctic environment. They were a unique branch on the evolutionary tree, a testament to nature's ability to create specialized forms of life in response to local conditions. Their genes told a story of isolation and adaptation in a remote northern haven. These findings challenge our previous assumptions about life during the Ice Age. It was once thought that the Arctic was largely a barren, lifeless wasteland during these cold periods. However, the evidence from Storsteinhola cave shows that this was not the case. During this warmer interstadial, the region was teeming with life. It was a productive ecosystem capable of supporting large herbivores like reindeer and bison, as well as their predators. This ancient world was far more dynamic and complex than we ever imagined. It shows that life is incredibly opportunistic, ready to colonize new areas as soon as the climate allows, creating rich communities in the process. However, the story also contains a warning. While these animals thrived during the warmer period, their success was temporary. The DNA evidence shows that some of the genetic lineages found in the cave, including that of the unique cave bears, did not survive. As the climate shifted once more and the great ice sheets began to advance again, the world changed dramatically. The conditions that had allowed these animals to flourish disappeared. The habitats they relied on vanished beneath the ice, and their unique genetic heritage was lost forever. Their story is a powerful reminder of how sensitive even the hardiest species can be to rapid and severe climate change. This disappearance of certain animal lineages highlights a crucial point about survival. Adaptation to one set of conditions does not guarantee survival when those conditions change. The specialized cave bears of Norway were perfectly suited to their world, but they were unable to cope when that world was transformed by the returning cold. This pattern of local extinction, where unique populations are wiped out by climatic shifts, is a recurring theme in Earth's history. The bones in Storsteinhola cave serve as a stark memorial to these lost populations, a silent testament to the creative but also destructive power of a changing climate. Why is it so important for us to learn about these animals from 75,000 years ago? The answer is simple. The past holds the key to understanding our present and our future. The story of the Storsteinhola cave is not just a fascinating piece of prehistory, it is a vital lesson in how nature responds to climate change. By studying how these Arctic ecosystems reacted to warming and cooling in the past, we can gain invaluable insights into how today's ecosystems might respond to the changes we're currently witnessing. The Earth has run this experiment before, and the results are recorded in the rocks and bones for us to read. Today, the Arctic is warming at a rate faster than anywhere else on the planet. Ice is melting, sea levels are rising, and habitats are being transformed before our very eyes. The animals that live there, such as polar bears and seals, face an uncertain future. The story of the cave bears and other lost lineages from the last ice age serves as a powerful case study. It shows us that even well-adapted species can be pushed to the brink of extinction when their environment changes too quickly. It demonstrates that ecosystems can and do collapse, and that unique genetic diversity, once lost, can never be recovered. The parallels between the ancient past and the modern day are striking. Just as the animals of the Ice Age had to contend with a shifting climate, so too do the creatures of our time. The discoveries in Norway help us to build better models to predict what might happen next. They provide real-world evidence of tipping points and thresholds in nature. Understanding which species survived the end of the Ice Age and which did not can help us identify the traits that confer resilience. This knowledge is essential for conservation efforts, helping us to focus our resources on protecting the most vulnerable species and habitats in our rapidly changing world. Ultimately, the ancient bones of Storsteinhola cave are a message from a distant time, but one that speaks directly to the challenges of today. They remind us of the profound interconnectedness of climate, environment, and life. They teach us humility, showing that even the most formidable creatures are at the mercy of the planet's powerful climatic forces. By listening to these stories from the deep past, we are better equipped to become responsible stewards of the natural world. Protecting the planet's biodiversity requires not only action in the present, but also a deep and respectful understanding of its long and often turbulent history.